Have you ever found out the person you trusted most was lying to you? I did, and it changed my life forever. I was once a poor man who married the love of my life, but things took a dramatic turn when I became a successful businessman. My wife, Lynn, was beautiful and charming, but I had no idea she was hiding a dark secret. One day, I returned home early from a business trip and caught her in our bedroom with her ex-boyfriend. The scene was like a punch to the gut. I felt like I had been living a lie. My mind was racing with questions. How could she do this to me? Did she ever truly love me? I stood there, frozen in shock, as they quickly got dressed and tried to come up with an excuse. But I wasn't having it. I knew right then and there that my life would never be the same. I tried to process what I had just seen, but my mind was a jumble of emotions. I felt angry, hurt, and betrayed all at once. I couldn't believe that the woman I loved and trusted could do something like this to me. I thought back to all the times she had told me she loved me, all the times we had shared together. It all seemed like a lie now. I didn't know what to do, so I just stood there, frozen in shock. Lynn and her ex-boyfriend were trying to talk to me, to explain, but I wasn't listening. I just turned around and walked away, leaving them standing there. I didn't know where I was going or what I was going to do, but I knew I had to get out of there. As I walked, I couldn't help but think about how this had happened. Had I been blind to the signs? Had I been too trusting? I thought about all the times she had been working late or out with friends. Had she been with him all along? The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. I felt like I had been living a lie, like my whole marriage had been a sham. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew I had to take action. I couldn't just stand by and do nothing. I had to confront her, to make her tell me the truth. But as I walked, I realized that I wasn't just angry with her, I was angry with myself. I had been so blind, so trusting. I had let my love for her cloud my judgment. I had ignored the signs, the little things that didn't add up. And now, I was paying the price. I was determined to get to the bottom of this, to make her tell me the truth. But as I turned the corner, I saw something that made my blood run cold. Lynn and her ex-boyfriend were standing outside our house, talking to a man in a suit. What were they doing? And who was this man? I felt a sense of unease, a sense of foreboding. Something was not right. As I watched, the man in the suit handed Lynn a piece of paper. She took it, and her eyes widened in shock. Her ex-boyfriend looked nervous, like he was about to bolt. I could sense the tension in the air, and I knew that something big was about to happen. I decided to confront them, to demand the truth. I walked up to them, my heart pounding in my chest. "What's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. Lynn looked up at me, a mixture of fear and guilt in her eyes. "Tran, I can explain," she said, but I cut her off. "No, you can't," I said. "You've been lying to me for months, maybe even years. I deserve the truth." The man in the suit stepped forward, a smug look on his face. I think it's time we told him the truth, don't you, Lynn? He said. Lynn nodded, and the man began to explain. It turned out that Lynn had been in deep financial trouble before we met. She had borrowed money from this man, a loan shark, and had promised to pay him back with interest. But she had never paid him back, and now he was demanding that she pay up. The ex-boyfriend was in on it too. He had been helping her try to come up with the money. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I had no idea that my wife was in so much debt. I had no idea that she was in danger. I looked at Lynn, and I saw the fear in her eyes. I knew that I had to protect her, no matter what. But as I looked at the man in the suit, I knew that I had to be careful. He was not a man to be trifled with. I decided to take matters into my own hands, to find a way to pay off the debt and keep Lynn safe. But as I turned to leave, I heard the man's voice behind me. "You're not going anywhere, Tran," he said. "You're going to help us, whether you like it or not." I felt a chill run down my spine. What did he have planned? And how was I going to get out of this situation? I tried to stay calm, but my mind was racing. What did this man have planned? And how was I going to get out of this situation? I looked at Lynn, and I saw the fear in her eyes. I knew that I had to protect her, no matter what. I decided to play along, to pretend that I was going to help them. But in reality, I was going to come up with a plan to take them down. I smiled, trying to look confident. "Okay, I'm in," I said. "What do you need me to do?" The man in the suit smiled, a cruel glint in his eye. "I need you to get me some money," he said. "A lot of money." I nodded, trying to think of a plan. I knew that I had to stall for time, to come up with a way to get out of this situation. I decided to pretend that I was going to get the money, but in reality, I was going to come up with a plan to take them down. I left the house, my mind racing with ideas. I knew that I had to be careful, that I had to come up with a plan that would work. I decided to go to the hotel where I had a meeting with a potential investor. I was going to use the meeting as a cover, to come up with a plan to take down the loan shark and his accomplices. As I walked into the hotel, I felt a sense of determination. I was going to get out of this situation, no matter what. I was going to protect Lynn, and I was going to take down the people who were threatening us. I walked into the meeting room, a smile on my face. "Hello, everyone," I said. "Let's get down to business." But as I sat down, I couldn't help but think about the plan that was forming in my mind. I was going to take down the loan shark, and I was going to protect Lynn. I was going to make sure that we were safe, no matter what. In the end, I was able to come up with a plan to take down the loan shark and his accomplices. I used the meeting with the investor as a cover, and I was able to gather enough evidence to take them down. The police arrived just in time, and they arrested the loan shark and his accomplices. Lynn was safe, and I was finally able to relax. I realized that I had been blind to the signs, that I had been too trusting. But I also learned that I was capable of protecting myself and the people I loved. I learned that I was stronger than I thought, and that I could overcome any obstacle. And as I looked at Lynn, I knew that our marriage was worth fighting for. We had been through a lot, but we had come out stronger on the other side. I was grateful for the experience, and I was grateful for the lesson. I learned that trust is important, but it's also important to be aware of the signs. I learned that love is worth fighting for, but it's also important to protect yourself. And I learned that sometimes, the hardest lessons are the ones that make us stronger.